Well, here I am in Ballina. It's actually the morning after. It's still it was a bit wet when I got in last night. It was pretty horrible weather. It's still a bit overcast and not very nice and good today at the moment. Hopefully it'll improve. I'll flick you around and show you where I stayed. And this is it, the Merry Monk in Ballina. And this is where we actually stayed. In the Merry Monk. An accommodation where we stayed in is a wee annex just over here, which I'll show you in a wee while. But at the moment I'm just going to go for breakfast. I was down here and it meant to be 8:30 and there was no doors open. I couldn't find a way in, but I saw some other people trying to get in. So yeah, this is where breakfast is going to be served apparently. Well, that was breakfast. I'll show you where I'm staying. I'll flick you around. This is where the bike's parked. And it's in the wee corner there, quite safe. And this is where the accommodation block is. We go in through this wee slidey door. And you come into this little, well, pretty much a communal area. There's kettles and stuff, and tea and coffee making facilities and things. A kind of communal sitting area. It's a strange place. There's only myself and a couple from Belgium that actually stayed here last night, so it's very quiet. But yeah, this is what it's like. And my room is through this wee corridor through here, and this is my luxury abode. It's nowhere near as good as last night's, or the night before, I should say. It is rather basic, I should say. There's no really anywhere to hang your clothing. There's this kind of shelving area, and there's a mirror there for you to use, but the only place you can hang things up is right in front of it, so that becomes pretty useless. There is an ensuite through this door here, with toilet things, but there is a shower just round the corner, and it's more like something you would find in a campsite. The shower control, there's just a timed button you have to press and it keeps going off all the time. You've got to keep hitting the button to keep the water going. It just drains into the floor, and when you have a shower the floor gets soaking wet, so the whole place, and it doesn't dry out very quick. Let's just say it's better than camping. Yeah, I know when I planned this, it was actually quite difficult to find accommodation in places that kind of suited me. And on booking.com, this didn't look too bad. I thought this would be fine, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. And even the food in the Merry Monk isn't very merry. It keeps you alive, but it's not brilliant, that's for sure. Anyway, I'm going to get packed up and hit the road and get out of here. We only spent one night here.
Everybody, this is day 3 of the Wild Atlantic tour. I've just left Ballina, where I stayed the night. I spent the night in the Merry Monk. I'm not so sure it was very merry. It's all part of the journey, isn't it? You can't live in luxury all the time. It'll spoil you, make you soft. You've got to rough it sometimes. At the moment the weather's looking a bit quite unsettled, a bit kind of showery, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we'll get a dry day and the sun will come out and we'll get some nice footage for you. So let's head off and see what day 3 brings us. Well, I've just done about 50 miles into the trip and it's been pretty wet and miserable for the whole journey. I've just stopped just now because I was cold and I had brought my heated vest with me, which was in the pannier. I thought, oh, it's good. This is the very end of May, it's almost June. It's summertime, it'll be warm. I won't need it, but I thought I'll take it anyway. It won't take up any room. So I was sitting here stopping and putting on my heated vest on because it's been miserable. And where I'm heading just now as well, for the next 14 miles, is up into the Doolough Valley, which I had planned to go over on the map, and when I've looked at it, it looked fabulous, like a brilliant road, and it kind of climbs away up into the hills. And I think it's actually going to be pretty miserable. But to avoid it, it's a hell of a long way out, so I'm just going to persevere and just get over it. Who knows? It might brighten up, and once we get over the top of these hills, the sun might come out, and it might be quite a nice day. But at the moment, it's it's not very great weather. It's not great for filming, that's for sure. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's go and hit the Doolough Valley and see if it's going to be a great run or just pure hell. This looks like the start of the road now. Starting to climb. There's a tourist out photographing some sheep, and the sheep are posing for her. She's obviously a city person who's never seen sheep before. What a place! I hope you can see this. The Doolough Valley. I'm not going to get my wee drone out. Once your gloves start to get a bit damp and stuff, it's hard to get everything back on again. So once I'm sealed into my waterproof gear, I'm not taking it off. Imagine if the sun was shining and you're coming over that hill and you just look up this valley opening up to you and just seeing it like this. Wow, absolutely beautiful. And it's a chink of kind of more kind of brighter weather over the other side. Let's hopefully once we get through these mountains, we'll get some better weather. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let's crack on. This is the Doolough Valley. What a great road this, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. I'm so glad the rain went off and we can actually see it, even though it's not in perfect sunshine. It's much more atmospheric like this. It's definitely not a road you would hammer along, that's for sure. At least I'm not going to. Not in my wee Enfield. This bit coming through the trees is beautiful, isn't it? All the colours as well. It's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. That road's quite busy, quite tight for that bus up there, further on. Almost over the pass, there's only a couple of miles to go in it. And the weather hasn't improved. It's still miserable. I think it's going to be like this for most of the day, unfortunately. Oh well, it is what it is. And it is a shame because this would have been a fantastic road if the weather had been better. I think it would have been incredibly beautiful. There was a river back there. It was obviously very popular with fishermen, but I didn't have the camera on at the time, unfortunately. But it was a beautiful, beautiful river. Even the banks of the river and the vegetation and fauna and flora and everything. It was beautiful. This was another bit I was going to stop at and have a wee look, was the Astley Falls, which is just round the corner here, a wee bit, which is meant to be quite spectacular. And if there's a lot of water coming down, it might be spectacular today. So let's go and have a wee look and see what it's like. There's the falls up there. They are quite spectacular. I'm so glad I stopped and put my heated vest on. It's made a big difference because it was miserable. Horrible being cold. I hate being cold. I didn't bother stopping at the falls, mainly because it's miserable weather and the traffic lights are taking ages to get through, so I thought, well, there's my chance to get through, so I'm just going to go. We're heading to another quite interesting wee location. Let's say it's about 27 miles away. Who knows what we might see in between. Hopefully the weather will be better when we get down there. We've been riding on the Cormara Loop, which I can say is absolutely fantastic. Such a shame the weather is like this, because it is horrible. The weather has not improved at all. If anything, it's got worse. But if you keep along that road in the dry and the sunshine, wow, that is one stunning road. Well, it's finally brightened up a bit. It's not raining. The sky's looking a wee bit brighter, so hopefully it's going to stay dry and dry out a wee bit. I feel like I've been riding for hours and hours and hours, which, well, actually I have to an extent, but I've only covered about 85 miles. And I've driven on some absolutely, what would have been some incredible roads, but they're really slow roads. It's so easy to think you can do a lot of miles in a day, and it's just not possible on these roads. A lot of the roads have got a white line along them, solid white line, so you're not allowed to overtake. A lot of the cars, they crawl along. I've been crawling behind some cars for miles and miles and miles at 25 miles an hour. And it's been purgatory. There's two of them, big Mercs, and eventually they turned into a church to pray. And I was all the way along there, I was praying, please get out of my way, please move over, please let me pass. It was murder. But it's a shame that the weather's bad, because honestly, this would have been a stunning day's run today. It would have been fantastic to have filmed it, but it was just hopeless. I'm quite pleased I actually cut down the mileage, actually, because I think what I had initially intended to do would have been impossible on these roads. I would have been stressing myself out thinking, oh, I'm never going to get to my accommodation tonight. And it's meant to be fun as well. I certainly wouldn't have liked to have gone the full distance I had originally planned in that horrible weather. Oops, turn left here. You sure this is it? Ah! No, this is not where I want to go. This is not where I want to be. I've made a mistake. Oh, come back. 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 I was talking to you and I wasn't paying attention. This is not a road I want to be on. Because I've actually reached the place I actually wanted to come to. And it's just here. This is where I wanted to come to.
On Sunday, the 15th of June 1919, at 8:40 a.m, pilot John Alcock and navigator Arthur Whitten Brown made history when they landed their Vickers Vimy aeroplane close to this site. having set off from St John's in Newfoundland only 16 hours and 28 minutes earlier. They had completed the first non-stop aeroplane flight between North America and Europe. Alcock and Brown's course was set for Galway Bay, and they had joked that we shall hang our hats on the aerials of the Clifton wireless station as we go by. Just over there, way up in that bog, away up in the hill, is where Alcock and Brown, when their plane landed, or pretty much crash landed into a bog.
It's dried up a bit now. The roads are dry. This is lovely Cormara. It's actually beautiful countryside. Gosh, this is a bleak and barren landscape, isn't it? The amount of rocks in the ground. It's all quite boggy ground as well. Gosh, Alcock and Brown were quite lucky landing here, weren't they? If you land in a peat bog, at least it's a bit softer, but try to land something in this terrain. There's a lovely wee village here, and the wee harbour down there.
Well, it's been a pretty miserable day out on the bike. The rain has been raining nearly all day. It's been pretty horrible, although I did ride through some stunning scenery. I didn't see much of it, to be honest. But I've finally arrived at my accommodation for tonight, and I'm rather underwhelmed, I have to say. I'll show you. Let's show you where I'm staying. Yeah, there's the bike. It's all parked and locked up, and I had booked to stay in a log cabin, and imagine my disappointment when I arrived to find where I'm staying in is this little cabin here. Yeah, which it doesn't look quite the same as it did in the picture, and I'm kind of concerned as to how I'm going to sleep in it, because that's how big it is. They never showed that in the pictures. Actually, I'm only kidding. Where I'm really staying is here, Camp Street Restaurant, and there's some rooms above the restaurant, and that's where I am. The wee room up there on the right hand side is meant to be a deluxe room. So yeah, so it's a bit of a chip shop and a restaurant. So if it's a restaurant, it's really a fish restaurant, I imagine. This is the fun of adventure touring. I arrived here a bit earlier than expected, because the weather was so bad. I cut my journey a bit short, and I couldn't find any way in. The place was shut, and I was sitting here thinking, and a sign at the restaurant door saying open at 5:30, and I'm saying that's ages yet, and it's cold and it's wet. I found a wee cafe and got a coffee and a scone, which was delicious, and then I checked my email and it showed me that there was access to the place, and this wee side door, which I never tried, obviously. And you come in the wee side door, up these stairs here. Again, this is nothing like the first hotel I was staying in. Up the stairs here, there's 4 rooms, I think, in the complex, and it takes you through this wee door into this communal area with it's obviously a laundry. They do all the laundry for the place as well, and a wee kitchen where you can make yourself either some food or tea and coffee and things. And the deluxe room is up this other wee bit here. Entrance to the deluxe room. Ding. And this is where I'm going to be staying for the night. In this dinky little room. A nice stone wall. Quite a nice wee bed. There's an ensuite in there as well. A nice place to hang your bike gear. A heater. Ensuite. A toilet. And a shower tucked in the corner. That's all I'm needing. That and a chip shop down the stairs. So yeah. So this is home for tonight. It's actually nicer than last night. I didn't like last night's at all. this is where I'll be doing some editing and video editing and stuff, and back up all my data from the last couple of days' runs.
Do not follow sat-nav.
Are you trying to go to the ferry too?
Yeah.
So are we.